So we kind of have to do the tedious first here at the top to make sure the employer's information's on there. So here the name of the business. Okay, so the name of the business is Audio Solutions. So that goes up here at the top. This is all the easy part. Let's see what the date for the quarter ended is. The last paid through date is March 31st. So March 31st, we'll just put, you put whatever year you want to on there. I put 18, it doesn't matter. Trade name, if any. None's listed in the instructions. I've got our employer ID number. Let's see, I know that's in here somewhere. Here we go. It's on step B, employer ID number, so that goes in this box right here, employer ID number. So 70-781 8356. Then we've got the street address, city, state, and zip. That's here in step A. 725 Sandpaper, Ormond Beach. 625 Sandpaper. Sandpiper. So. Sandpiper Street. Florida. And zip 32074. Usually for a big business, if they've filed taxes previously, then the IRS usually sends out a packet. Usually anymore they send out a sticker. You just put the sticker in there so you don't have to fill all this out. But sometimes you don't get that and you got to fill all the stuff out by hand, so learning old school is the best way to do it. That way when you don't get something, you know how to do it old school. So we've got all this filled out, and basically we're just going to go right down the list. So we'll start number of employees in the pay period. So we'll look in our instructions, number of employees, 6. So number of employees, so we'll put 6 here. Now just, I'm sure most of you already know this, but there's, you got your example on page 379 with all the steps involved with this too. So step 2, total wages, tips, and other compensation. So we're going to get that where it says total earnings. We're just going to add all three of these numbers up, put those in box 2. So we should have 33,800. So that goes in box 2. Box 3, total income tax withheld from wages, tips, and sick pay. Remember, we're just looking for income tax, not, if you looking at your table, we've got income tax, Social Security, and Medicare, so we just want the income. If we're going to do the same thing, just going to add all those up. So 2366. Box 2. You can see where I've done this in the past, and I wrote in the book here. So then line 4, adjustment of withheld income tax for preceding quarters of this calendar year. Well, instructions. No, there's nothing here, nothing in there for that. So we'll just put a 0. And then for line 5, adjusted total of income tax withheld. This line 3 is adjusted by line 4. So we had this income tax withheld. We had nothing else. So we're just going to add these two. So we just have 2366 for withheld tax. But now we get to line 6 and 7, Social Security wages, tips, Medicare wages and tips. So we'll add up all of our Social Security. Here we got our column for Social Security. Don't worry about this times 2 yet. We won't deal with that until the bottom. So don't worry about that. So right now we're just going to add these 3 numbers up and put them in that box for a 6A. Oh, actually, I got ahead. Sorry, my bad on that one. I got a brain fart. It's taxable Social Security wages, not Social Security withheld. So the taxable wages that Social Security is going to be figured on. So that's going to be this 33,800. Apologize. Sorry if you wrote in pen and filled in the other number. No sense. And our Social Security tips. There's no tips listed. That was all included up in here. So no tips listed. So that's going to be a 0. And then our taxable Medicare wages is going to be the same thing, what our taxes are going to be calculated off of. So it's going to be the same, $33,800. Okay, now the reason why I said earlier that on the bottom we're going to have to double, because the employer has to match anything that's withheld. But if you notice here in the formula, our Social Security wages, we're going to multiply that by 12%, 12.4%, to find out what the Social Security withholding is. But that's also going to include, here it also includes the employer match. Because if you remember, Social Security withholding is 6.2%. Well, on the tax form, you can see it's doubled, 12.4. That's just like here on your Medicare taxable wages, 1.45%. It's doubled here to 2.9. So the percentages here, those do include the employer matching for the withholding. So we're just going to multiply the 33,100 times 0.124. We even have the decimal in the paragraph or in the parentheses for you. $4,192.20. So that's going to go here in the box for 6B. And 6D, well, that's going to be 0. And we're just going to multiply the 33,800 times 0.029 or 2.9%. $980.20. There's where you should be so far. So line 8, total Social Security and Medicare taxes. Like it says here in parentheses, add the lines B, D, and 7B. Put a check mark there if they're not subject to Social Security and Medicare tax, so we're not going to put a check mark there. But we're just going to add. And when you're doing a real tax return, you don't want to mark it all up like this. Probably won't get sent back, but you're taking your chances. But for here, mark it up a little bit. So you're going to add these three up for your total amount right here. So if you still get your 980.20, just add 4191.20 cents for $5,171.40. So line 9, adjustment of Social Security and Medicare taxes, sick pay, fractions of cents. We don't have anything for that box, so we'll just put a 0. Line 10, adjusted total of Social Security Medicare taxes. Line 8 is adjusted by line 9. We got 0 there, so we'll just bring down our 5,171.40. Then line 11, total taxes. It tells you right here, add lines 5 plus 10. So we're going to add our withholding taxes, our Social Security and Medicare with our income tax, add those together for our total on line 11. There's the 2366. So we get 7,537.40. So now we got line 12, earned income tax credit. Got no information for that, so that's a 0. Then 13, net taxes. So if we had any tax credits, we would subtract that, but we don't. So we'll just bring our 75,37.40 down. So then line 40, total deposits for quarter, including overpayment from prior quarter. We don't have anything for that, so we just, our total basically 75,37.40. Balance due, subtract 14 from 13. 0. So there's the top part. So now we're going to kind of go down through these. Payment, got nothing for that. Next bullet point, nothing. Semi-weekly schedule depositors, we got no information on that. Monthly schedule, complete line 17. Put a check there, I put an X, guess I didn't read. Put a check mark there. Okay, so now we're on box 17. Here's our monthly totals. And all three of these added up, when we add all three of these up in this last box, it should match the amount that's up here, the 7537. So here's what we need to do. Jake, can you turn that down? So we're going to add, so we've got January is our first one, January, February, March. So what we're going to do is add the Social Security and the Medicare, double it, and then add the 731. Let me make sure that's right first. It's been a year since I've done this. And I can't even type in that right. Start over here. Plus 151.38 times 2 plus 731. Bingo. All right. So add your Social Security and your Medicare, multiply it by 2, then add the 731. So you should get $22,328.32. We'll do the same thing for February. 679.52 plus 158.92. Multiply that times 2. And then we'll add our 767. Man, that's a bad word. So $24.43.88. Then we got March. Do the same thing. We got 27.65 and 20 cents. So once you get all these, three of these, all your 3 months filled in, just add those up, and it should match the 75.37. So we got 27.65 plus 443.88 cents plus 23.28 and 32 cents. We got 7,537 and 40 cents. Because if you remember back to the top, they had our percentages doubled for our Medicare and our Social Security, but nothing was doubled at the top. So yeah, employers don't need to match that. So now you've got that done. All you gotta do is just sign your tax return. You're sending it in, and then you put whatever date on here that you want to that is with this. So it's got to be out. So we'll put April 15th. Taxes are due by April 15th anyway, so we'll put April 15th on there. Just as long as you're dated after the 31st. If you date it before the 31st, you're going to have a problem. So that's your tax return form, your employee tax withholding form.
So when you're in tax, do you have to have like 6 taxes, like 5 taxes? Because my mom knows how to do it.
Yeah.